Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where today, for the first time in a long time, we have the first of many Manchester United competitive game tactical previews. Of course, the first game of the Premier League season, Manchester United up against Wolves. Now, before we get into the video, apologies if you can hear some background noise. I've been waiting for about an hour for the noise on where I live basically to stop. It's not stopping, so we're just going through it anyway. There's a chance you guys can't hear it. But today, let's talk about what United can expect from Wolves, and I'll be honest, it has changed. Of course, I've done all my research on how Wolves would set up under Lopetegui or Lopetegui. Till to this day, not sure how to say his name. But he's no longer at the club, which is a problem. Big problem. However, fear not, I had a feeling that this was going to happen, so whilst I was researching his tactics, I was also researching Gary O'Neill and his tactics at Bournemouth last season, anticipating that there was a chance that he would be in charge of Wolves for this game. And lo and behold, that is the case. So today, let's look at how Manchester United can set up and play to beat this Wolves team.
So I just quickly wanted to take a break away from the main camera to talk to you guys about today's video sponsor, the Football Shirt Club. And the reason I want to talk about them is because today, they have sent me this beautiful mystery box for me to try out for myself. You can see this lovely purple packaging, really good quality. So today we're going to open it up and we're going to see what we get inside. So we've turned the camera, let's see what we are going to get inside. If you want to check them out, the link will be in the description down below to get one for yourself. But drumroll please, let's have a look at what we're going to get. Oh, it's very nice indeed. I'm seeing a PSV badge straight away, but also a couple of bonus gifts. We have a little information card. You guys can pause it if you want to read through that. I'll be reading through it later. We've also got some playing cards. Marcus Rashford feels very fitting for the channel. Got some different playing cards there though. Really high quality. They feel very nice. But then, the most important thing, the Piece à la Résistance, the PSV shirt, the 21-22 away kit. I need to try this on and show you guys. So I have to say, I'm really pleased with it. The PSV badge on the kit is very nice indeed. If you want to get your own mystery box, check out the Football Shirt Club using the link in the description down below. And also, if you use code AJ10 at checkout, you will get yourself a nice little discount.
We'll start off with the lineup. I think it's pretty self-explanatory for Manchester United. The two areas of debate would be Dalot or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And do you play Jadon Sancho up front with Rashford on the left, or do you put Rashford up front, Garnacho on the left? I've gone for Sancho up front, and I will explain why a little bit later on in this video. But in terms of the Wolves lineup, we are guessing a little bit. This is the sort of structure which they have been using in pre-season, a 4-2-3-1. O'Neill is more likely to use it as either a 4-4-2, so perhaps we could see Sarabia further forward, or a 4-4-1-1, so it's not too dissimilar. In terms of, but when Manchester United are trying to kind of play out from the back basically, something we'll see a lot this season, there are ways in which I think they can be quite successful. And the reason for that is because I don't think Wolves are likely to be a team in their first game under a new manager, first game of the season, to push one of the centre-backs forward and really connect an extra man to the press, or even one of the full-backs. I think that is unlikely, meaning that if United use the build-up structure which we've been seeing in pre-season, in the last couple of games, something which I was talking about the other day, which looks a little bit like this, I think United should be able to play up from the back quite easily. And the reason for that is because if Wolves are not going to commit the extra man forward, it means Sancho is occupying two players. It means Antony is tying up the fullback here. Rashford's doing the same over here. It leaves Wolves with two midfielders forced deeper by Mount and Bruno Fernandes. Wolves, on paper, theoretically, should only have four players which are able to commit high to the press. And, I mean, as we can see, United have got six. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure out 6 is more than 4. So United should be able to play out from the back quite comfortably in this game. There's a chance at times, for example, if the fullbacks are picked up like this, I still think United outnumber the middle 4 versus 2. I think United will find that they are able to play out from the back quite comfortably in this game, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. Look out for Luke Shaw playing passes to Lisandro Martinez on the blind side of Matheus Nunes like this, but also the same down the other side at times. I think United will be able to play out from the back. From there, if that is the case, Wolves will retreat and most likely sit in a mid-block in a 4-4-2 shape. Pedro Neto and Nunes on the wings will drop just in front of their fullbacks to provide protection. So the question here for United is, how do they go about building possession? And when doing this, if we put United back in a more normal structure, when doing this, as Manchester United, there's a few things you need to think about. You need to think about What is the best way in which we can keep and sustain possession? What is the best way that we can break the opposition down and score goals? But also, what is the best way that we can make sure that we are secure in defensive transition in case we lose the ball? Of course, rest defense, which we're talking about during the summer. I think for this game, if we look at the Wolves team in a 4-4-2 shape, 2 forwards, you need at least 2 Manchester United players in central areas to deal with that. But I would actually go probably with 3. I think my thinking would be to tie Sarabia up with Casemiro and kind of have that dealt with in transition, tie Varane to Cunha and have that dealt with in transition, put Lisandro Martinez and Dalot either side of Rafael Varane, and push Shaw a little bit higher, giving United a structure which looks something a little bit like this. A 3-4-3 with the 4 in the middle being in a diamond shape. I think this means that when Wolves counter-attack, United should have a lot of threats dealt with. Sarabia, like I said, is tied up by Casemiro, Cunha by Rafael Varane. If Núñez wants to carry the ball forward, Lisandro Martinez can deal with it. Núñez isn't exactly a winger. And then on the other side, Neto, Dalot is comfortable defending in wide areas. So I think that works in terms of the rest defence, but I also think it works in possession. And the reason for that is because it should allow United to overload key areas of the pitch. The diamond in particular gives United a 4 versus 3 in the midfield like this, meaning that there is always going to be a spare man either at the tip of the diamond or at the base of the diamond. Now, to kind of counter this, I would imagine Wolves will probably use quite narrow wingers. Now again, a lot of this is speculation because we just don't know what they're going to do. They have a new manager, but based on O'Neill and what he was doing at Bournemouth, I would imagine the wingers will defend quite narrow, especially Núñez on this right hand side. The solution to that for United though is to give Lisandro Martinez and also Dalot the license to step forward out from the back with the ball, and there is space and time for them to do that. If they step into these areas, naturally that will start to drag players out because, as I've said before, you can't just let a player carry the ball all the way forward. So that could draw out someone like Núñez. This is when United then have the real potential to go in the pitch and use their overload, using either Mason Mount on the half turn in this little pocket here or Casemiro in this area here. Now, in terms of the striker situation, the reason I'm going for Sancho up front rather than Marcus Rashford is because I don't think that Wolves are going to be squeezing super high, so I don't think there's going to be a ton of room in behind to attack, so you want someone who's a bit better with the ball at their feet. That's probably Jadon Sancho, so that is my explanation there. Garnacho will definitely play a big part in this game though, from the bench or maybe from the start, depending on what Ten Hag does. But I think if United use this method of stepping forward and kind of pulling players out of position, be patient on the ball in these areas, kind of try and draw Wolves onto them, go backwards when they need to, all the way back to Onana if you have to. Try and draw Wolves out, but try and create this overload in the middle of the park where you can then go in here and get players like Mason Mount on the half turn, Bruno Fernandes as well. I think this is an effective way for United to control possession, progress the ball forward, but also be ready for the counter press, for any defensive transitions. Of course, from these positions, United will have a lot of movements and rotations, they always do. Marcus Rashford will not be isolated on the left-hand side. He will be allowed to come infield like this, and Luke Shaw will push wide, something I was speaking about the other day when I was talking about Ten Hag's tactics for this season. So rotations will be key. But regardless, I think this shape, the 3-4-3 with a diamond in midfield, I think it gives United the potential to move the ball forward through the pitch quite effectively, whilst also ticking the other boxes which need to be ticked. As a result, Wolves will be forced to drop a little bit deeper. And when they drop deeper, you will probably see a slight change in structure, because I do believe that Pedro Neto on the left wing will probably drop back into more of a left wing back position, creating a back 5. We'll then have Lemina, Hodge and Núñez kind of as a bank of 3, so the 5-3 there. And then Sarabia and Cunha as the front 2. I think we will see something which resembles a 5-3-2. Now you can see here, the pitch is getting quite crowded in this area. It does two things. It makes it hard to present this nicely, but it also probably highlights perhaps how compact this Wolves team will be at times. In terms of how United move forward from this position though and try and break them down, I think the structure we've seen the rest of the game is the right method, the 3-4-3 diamond. Again, the base of 3 with Casemiro just in front is going to allow them to 4 versus 2 these players here. But importantly, with Wolves defending in a back 5, if you can push 6 players forward, which this shape does allow you to do, you can still overload that last line of defence. And I think that will be important in this game. Getting players in channels. Really watch out for that. I also think this little space here could be quite dangerous. With Pedro Neto dropping deeper and Lemina wanting to be a bit more central, there's potential for room in this area here. So if Antony can kind of get the ball wide in this area, then come back inside to Bruno Fernandes, then look for channel runs in these areas from someone like Jadon Sancho on the blind side, or even Antony completing the 1-2. watch out for that sort of ball, and then cutbacks towards the edge of the penalty area or to the penalty spot. That is definitely something I would be watching out for. Now, of course, in these situations, this whole United team will be much higher up the pitch, squeezed much higher. I just can't put it in all in one half because it looks messy. But, you know, imagine that Wolves are really being forced back. That is how I expect this game to go for United. I think United will control the ball. I think they will have a lot of possession for large periods of the game. Players like Sancho will be dropping in to kind of keep things ticking over. For United, it will be about being patient, not forcing the pass, not forcing real unnecessary turnovers, really. Rafael Varane, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, I'm looking at you guys. There's no need for United to do that. If they keep their patience in this game, I think they should be fine. Something also, which I would just say to watch out for, is maybe Casemiro long shots from the edge. If United are dominating the ball and pushing players forward and getting to the byline, watch for cutbacks towards the edge of the penalty area for Casemiro long ranges. Keep an eye on that in this game. But in general, I'm quite confident heading into the game. Those are the tactics I think we will see. In terms of Wolves' weaknesses, we can't go as in depth with this as what I would like to in other games, and other games we will do it this season. But like I said, Wolves have got a new manager. It's a little bit difficult to predict. They literally haven't even played a pre-season game under him. This will be, you know, his first work at the club. He's barely done any training sessions. He may not have done any at all. So it is difficult to predict really accurately what Wolves are going to do. This is a combination of what Wolves have been doing in pre-season, combined with what Gary O'Neill was doing last season with Bournemouth, which worked really well, to be fair. This is roughly how I think Wolves will be set up for this game, and this is how I think Manchester United can break it down. Like I said, someone like Garnacho will be key from the bench, fresh legs to go at that Wolves defence. But I think the important thing for United will be trying to control the tempo of the game. Keep the ball ticking over, don't let it go too slow, too stale, get that Old Trafford crowd behind you. But I think with that structure of the 3-4-3 diamond, overloading the first line, but also the central of the pitch, and also the last line as well, should allow United to have some real success in this game. Personally, I'm going to go for a 3-0 prediction. 3-0 win to Manchester United. Of course, though, Wolves will offer a threat. I think this system provides good counter-pressing and good rest defence, but let's not kind of underestimate Wolves too much. They will offer something going forward. They are a good side, but I just think United will have too much for them. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know who you think will win, what the score will be, what tactics you would use, who do you think the man of the match will be, what will your starting lineup be. All of that, let me know in the comments down below. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the match. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.